Hello chicos, chicas! Today on the menu is going to be a fantastic human and an even more fantastic game played by that fantastic human, and that is none other than everyone's beloved David Navara in the white trunks playing against Canada, and his opponent is Grandmaster Sean Rodrigue Lemioux. By the way, while on the topic of Canada at the Olympiad, I haven't been really following too much of the surrounding news, but I did notice that neither of the chess bras are part of the Canadian crew, and I did look at the Canadian team, and it did appear to me that they would definitely make it. So, if anyone knows why they are away, please do let me know down in the comment section. As for the game, on the menu is a stock standard advanced Caro-Kann, where black plays this very sharp variation with early c5 and queen b6, which allows white extremely rapid development, and basically black is running a risk in this line that if at any given point the position blows up under unfavorable circumstances to black, that is an imminent death, like instant game over scenarios tend to occur. So black needs to play this variation with extreme care and caution. Of course, white is hanging the pawn on b2. By the way, quite amazingly, after queen takes b2, the best line for white is queen b1, forcing a queen trade, after which the queen side does indeed open up, whereas taking the knight leads to an immediate catastrophe on b7. But knight c6 was played, bishop b5 played, c4, and this is what I'm talking about. So black opts to close the game down entirely, and rightly so, because they are very seriously lagging in development. However, this pawn formation is not completely sealed, because white has this b3 move to bite into the pawns, and then very soon the pawns one by one can potentially disappear. So definitely there is a lot of pressure here on black to finish and complete development as soon as possible. Knight e7 still fine. b3, a6 still fine, bishop a4, and queen a5, hitting the knight on c3, trying to buy some time to play b5, but somehow it just feels like black never really gets the optimal setup. There is something always hanging in the air that makes black play just one more move rather than what they want to do. In this case, of course, b5 is not playable on account of all the knight captures, including knight b5, knight d5 even, but dominantly knight b5. So the queen had to drop back all the way to d8, and this is where the game becomes very dicey. B takes c4, and Navara manages to crack the middle open, and from here on out, white is definitely the one calling the shots, and black is definitely playing with fire. Note, by the way, also the time situation. I think you can see it. Navara's 110 is matched by the opponent's 36 minutes, and they do need this time now desperately. Interestingly enough, here the engine's favorite move is the shocking knight h4, allowing b5, in fact forcing it, if you will, and after take with the knight, threatening check here, and if the knight goes away, then knight f, ef, and d5 ideas can become very strong. Perhaps rook e1 first, and then d5. The engine considers this to be holdable, but boy, is it an extremely fun variation. Speaking of fun, Navara goes, yeah, nah, it's okay. I'm gonna play bishop g5, inviting a different tragedy with b5. This time it's completely losing, because after bishop takes, pawn takes, knight takes, the knight is glued to e7, which means that knight d6 is imminent, and that is gonna mop up pretty much instantly. So the Canadian GM swings back out to queen a5, but that of course means that development is further delayed. What do we do? No worries. We're going to play rook b1 because our opponent attacked our knight, and so the natural response, of course, is to look for ways to not defend it, but instead continuing the attack. b5 again was best course of action, and after knight takes, pawn takes, bishop takes, queen c7, we are going to see an identical idea to what happened in the game, which is breaking in the center, baby, because that's where we play chess. When we play well, d5, ed, bishop takes e7, bishop e7, and queen d5, followed by knight d4. I will show you this line because it's very, very beautiful. And then e6 would have created a really, really messy scenario. The engine still wants to hang on here with fe followed by queen d6. But for a human, this is definitely looking really, really dicey. So, Rodrigue Lemioux thought that maybe if he has to go down, he's at least going to take a few pieces down with him. And on that note, he captured the knight on c3. But of course, now this really does remind us of Morphy games with bishop spinning in every which direction, causing absolute wrecking havoc. Rather, rook c8 played, and of course, once again, oh no, sorry, rook c8 is not played. Bishop e4 was played, and this is the move that seemingly keeps things together for the time being, at least, because the bishop covers c6. It seems to be a very handy defender on the diagonal, but of course we already know the recipe. When we are playing chess well, we play in the center, and of course we break on the most protected square. A sensational strike by the Czech GM. Needless to say that knight d and ed immediately lose the knight, so bishop takes d5 is the only way to capture, which of course allows white to bring all the big boys in. So it was not about the d4 square, or not only, but it was more about the d file. Surprisingly, bishop e7 loses to the really, really spectacular fireworks, bishop c6, rook e7. And now black loses everything with checks. Check, king e7, and queen b7 check. And then I'm going to pick off both rooks to add insult to injury. Absolutely insane variation. And so the Canadian GM decided that after bishop e7, the best course of action was to actually go back to a5. And indeed, this is actually quite clever. It is quite clever because now a4 is hanging. So yeah, probably bishop takes f8 does win, but after queen takes a4, now there doesn't appear to be an obvious way to finish the game. What did Navara do? He goes like, oh, no worries, let's just casually play c3, defend the key piece, the a4 bishop that provides the pin, since bishop takes e7 still loses to the exact same tactico. That is so cool. Okay, fair enough, I'm not gonna lose the second rook, but this one is still game over. Wow, just c3 with the bishop hanging on e7. Now that is, friends, what I call spectacular good chess. Bishop e7 played, bishop c6, king f8, bishop takes d5, and rook d8 played. I'm so happy that this move was played. I mean, queen d5, ed5, knight d4, whilst materially level, is a perfectly resignable endgame, because the white heavies are going to penetrate along the b file and ultimately along the 7th rank, and the black pieces are utterly ridiculously passive and cannot contribute in any meaningful way, shape or form. And so rook d8, thank goodness, because what this did was that it allowed us to finish with a flourish, a beautiful queen sack. Looks like a bit of a theme if you think about yesterday's video. And yeah, the two rooks again are coming in with elementary power. Of course I cannot take here because that's already a back rank mate, which is exactly what black was hoping to fix with g5. But it is one move too late to the party. Bishop d8, and here comes a sensational checkmate. Rook takes h7, f7. Oh, that was a Freudian slip. King h6 and bishop d3, threatening rook h7 mate. But that is not even the best. The best is the would have been, because here black resigned. But what I think they did, in fact, I'm pretty sure they did. But the greatest would have been was, of course, g4, when rook h7, rook h7, rook h7, king g5, and knight takes e6. Delivers one of the greatest Matutskis of recent times. Wow, just wow, a sensational attacking game by Navara. It was really, really cool. It was also cool, by the way, that Maggie was on your bike. In case you didn't know, Carlsen did not manage to get into the tournament all on time, and he somehow didn't find any other means of transport rather than hopping on a bike. So he actually rode his bike to round 3, which is the reason why he was late. I will try to crack that joke a number of times. It is, of course, more known to those who watch me stream, because on your bike is a common expression there. Anyway, that was my very quick but hopefully really fun recap of round 3, and round 4 is going to be in motion in a couple of hours. So let the fun continue, and I'll be back with the next video soon. Please don't forget to chuck a like, leave a comment down below, and sub if you haven't done so yet, and I will see you in the next one. Cheerio!